Hi, it's Linda. After much expansive time, my junk journal January is finally almost complete. I need to add my closure, which is going to be number 31, close. I'm going to put an eyelet back here and put this blue ribbon through to tie the book closed. So I'm going to use my mother's old punch and see if I can get it kind of sort of centered. And I'm going to go in far enough that it doesn't pull out. So I think I'm going to put it right about there. There we go. And then the eyelet will go through from this side. Hopefully. It's being a little stubborn. There we go. Just have to talk to it the right way. And then I'm going to just squeeze this down. It takes a little bit of pressure on it to get it done just so. But I think that's fine. Pretty good, actually. I'm going to run this through. I think I'm going to do this. Let's see. Maybe about like that. Okay, I need my awl to push it through there. There we go. And let's see if I think that's enough to tie this side. That should be enough. And then I'm going to take this one around twice, I think. And cut it about there. And hope that that's what I want it to be. We'll see. And I'm going to cut this edge off to make it even like that. I titled this video, 5 Things I've Learned from Participating in Junk Journal January. And one of the first things that I learned is that I like to work with prompts. It's nice to have a starting place of what you're going to work on. And I found that to be very helpful in being creative. And Meg's prompts were very, very interesting and challenging sometimes. Okay. Let's see how this does. We're just going to tie it up here. Hope for the best. Oh, you know what? I probably cut that a little bit too short. There we go. That's good enough. Okay. Junk Journal January. It turned out to be a very chunky little book, which I'm not surprised about because right away I started adding layers and all kinds of things to it so that it did get chunky in a hurry. The second thing I learned was that a mistake can be a springboard to a better idea or become a design element. And one of the, you've already seen this page before if you've watched the videos up till now. This page was stitched, was the prompt, and I just took it to the sewing machine. I was sewing all around on here. And I had a stamped flower on this brown piece of paper back here, and by the time I got it all stitched around, it wasn't even showing up anymore. So I decided that I would use this fussy cut flower, roses off of invitation card is what it was off of, and glued it on with the number 6 here. And then I added just this little bit of washi tape and added pink stitching in this corner. So I kind of have a triangle going on here with the colors. And I just think it turned out much prettier than what I had before. It's much more interesting than just the brown paper and the gold stitching. And then on this one, I was using my Distress Oxide inks, and I was going to just smoosh them on there, and it was not working out at all. And so then I got out my watercolors, and I worked putting watercolors on there in a stamp, and I used this rug underlay to stamp this design on here with I think that was either Vintage Photo or Ground Espresso. I think it was Ground Espresso that I put that design on there. And then some splatters and put a quote here. And I was really pleased with the way that turned out. So a mistake is not always a bad thing. It can be a good thing. And another thing I learned is that a little journal can be a fun place to practice your art. And this was kind of an example of that, as well as this page. I drew this little picture based on the description that I have here in this part about the little room description and the teapots and the tables and things. I just used colored pencils and drew my picture there. And so that was fun to do that. Also, for texture and experimental, I use my watercolors, and I use one of these packets of, I forget what this stuff is called, desiccant, I think is what it is. It's, it absorbs moisture, and so I sprinkled it on my watercolor, and I'd been wanting to try that. I hadn't ever gotten around to doing it, but this gave me an opportunity to try it out, and I really liked the result I got with that. And then I used texture paste there. Actually, I combined two prompts in this, experimental and texture. So this was my texture, and the watercolor was experimental. And then back here, I decided finally on top 5, and it's number 17. It ended up way toward the back because I'd put something else where I'd intended to put it. So anyway, I decided on favorite homemade cookies. And so I have a cookie cookbook that had pictures in it, but I really didn't want to cut it up. It was a gift to me a long time ago from an aunt and uncle, and I still want to keep it. So I decided I would just do my own artwork for the cookies, for brownies and oatmeal, cranberry white chocolate chip cookies, my mother's sugar cookies. This one is a red velvet cookie with white chocolate chips in it. And this is just a chocolate chip cookie. I used alcohol ink pens on these to make the designs on there. And that was fun, and it kind of challenged me, and I was pleased with the result I had. The only thing is, I think the sugar cookie needs some sugar sprinkled on top of it, and I'm still thinking I might use maybe some sand and glue on there for that. Never done. I say I'm finished with it, but I'm not. Anyway, that was some of my using my journal as a place to practice my art. Another thing that I learned is to plan for expansion, because my little journal certainly expanded. And I don't know, I had extra pages in here, but it got thick in a hurry with added flips and extra layers, and this tag, which has 3 layers plus this laser cut design heart, lace, extra pages glued in with multiple layers on them, this little specimen card that I added in there. This has about 3 or 4 layers on it with the design that the die cut has 2 layers and then a backing layer plus glued to the back of this page. So that was a lot there. Added a page here and glued something down on that. There's a pocket here with extra stuff in it. So you get the idea. It bulks up in a hurry, especially when you put in things like little weaving samples and tea bags and things like that. And little folded things that end up being quite thick when they're folded up and tied. So anyway, it's going to get chunky. So a tip I heard from Wendy the other day, just yesterday as a matter of fact, was that if you make smaller signatures in your book, then you have more opportunity to expand it without it getting too bulky. And that probably means if I'd put 2 signatures in this and divided the pages up between those, I would have had a wider spine, and it wouldn't have gotten this gator mouth. I don't mind the gator mouth, but some people don't like gator mouths so on their journals. So anyway, the Last one I showed you, I think, was maybe this one and this one. I can't remember. It's pitiful, isn't it? But anyway, I talked about this already. I think we had looked at it before. And then this was maps and handwritten, hand-lettered. And I put, wherever you go, that's where you are. And I added a little bit of rickrack with gold on it there. Then this page was number 24, and it's out of order too. The prompt for 24 was scenery, and I got to thinking about scenery, and you look out a window and you see a scene, and I decided that I was going to make curtains, which I used a paper napkin because it would be thinner and lay down flatter. They look a little crumpled now. And I put a piece of lace up here for a valance at the top. And then I had chosen some various pictures to go in here. But I liked the bear, the mama bear and her two cubs the best because it reminded me of one of our trips to Colorado. In fact, it was the last year that we went to visit John's cousin and her husband up there. They sold their home after that, and it was very bittersweet, but that was the year that we saw bears, and they came up on, they had an upper deck and a lower deck, and they were down, our bedroom was downstairs, and the bears came up and walked by our bedroom windows, which were big sliding glass windows, and there were those black bears. It was so exciting. And this reminds me of that. So that's my favorite. But I also had this scene, which is, get in there, just a view of mountains and a lake, which I thought was pretty there too. And then I got those two out of the same magazine. This came out of one of those Viking river cruise brochures that you get sometimes. Both of these did. And this one is a river scene, looking out the window. And the other side is a nighttime scene with these birds flying, or maybe it's twilight. So since I couldn't make up my mind which one to use all the time, it's really the bears. But I decided it would be fun to have 4 pictures in there. And it makes it kind of like a kaleidoscope, or not a kaleidoscope, a Viewmaster, one of those children's toys that you can click the lever and change your scene. So that's kind of what that reminded me of. And I got the idea for these curtains in particular with the floral on it is like from an old movie like The Big Sleep, which had a lot of rooms that had curtains in it. And I don't know, I just kind of thought that was fun. So anyway, this one I feel like I have shown you before, but I'm not sure. But I did add this blue paper behind it for this page and left enough edge around it to just have a border on it. And this was old and new and stickers. And these are rub-on stickers, the black flowers. And old and new is make new friends, keep the old. One is silver, the other gold. Then this page is number 25, prompt number 25, which was one color. And I went with blue. And I was kind of stumped about what I was going to do. So I picked a quote that talks about blue. It says, "Blue thou art, intensely blue, flower, whence came thy dazzling hue." It's James Montgomery. And I don't know that my little flowers are particularly dazzling, but anyway, that's my page that I did for that. Then this page is number 26, and it was wordy. And that I thought that was going to be one of the easiest pages that I had to do, and it turned out to be such a struggle for me to get it done. I don't know why it was such a struggle, but I finally, I actually stopped working on it because I just felt like I was stuck, and I watched some videos of what some other people had done, not to copy what they did, but to just get some inspiration. And several of them had just glued some pages on, so I did that, and this page had some, I used this same stamp that I made to stamp some color on the dictionary page. And I glued some of those on there, and I glued down some of my words. I had written all these words on dictionary page, and I glued some of those down, and then I put a piece of, actually it was the white part of this napkin, this. I glued part of that over what I had down to kind of put some of those words back in the background a little bit so they didn't look so jumbled. And then I added some of the others on top and kind of emphasized that one with the blue behind it. These three are stamps: Inspire, Imagine, and Journey. I picked words that I like, either the meaning of them, the way they sound, or both. And then I also wrote these out with, not that one, this one, and that one, and that one, a calligraphy pen. And this one is one I like because of how it sounds and what it means. Tintinnabulation, and it means the ringing of bells. I like Journey. It has many pleasant thoughts going on a journey. Sojourn means to stay somewhere a while, and I really like that word too. You go somewhere, you stay a while. And then Abide has, to me, I wrote that one on the definition of belong because it has that connotation to me of belonging somewhere. You abide with someone. You abide in a place. And Artist, because I like the word, and my friend tells me I am one, so I'm taking her word for it. 26 was the prompt number. Wander sounds, I don't know, wander the fields. I've done that before in my childhood or young adulthood. Just go out to a field somewhere and wander around and look at nature and think about things. And then Hope, because it's a hopeful word, and it is also tied into belief for me. So believe or belief. You hope and you believe what you hope for. So that was my wordy page that I'm okay with it now. I like that I used the blue to tie it back together with this, and I put a few of the flowers from these leftovers over here just to kind of tie those two pages together. Then this page was, I kept this page because it has kudzu on it, and my brother lives in Alabama now, and they have kudzu over there, and I don't know, it just kind of reminded me of him, and I wanted to keep it. It also has Ku Klux Klan on there, which I don't care for that. I may cover that up eventually. But I put this flower on here. I had to add this strip of paper because I extended this page, and what I had on the back to extend it with was not, it had some color on it I didn't like. So I put this paper on there, and it's the same paper as I have in my end pages here, to just kind of bring that together. And then I put this die cut on there to just have it there and kind of camouflage that jutting out place. And I've already talked about my top 5 cookies. I made a tag to go in a vellum pocket here and wrote homemade and stamped cookies. And then I wrote brownies, oatmeal cranberry, white chocolate chip cookies, red velvet jumbles, mother sugar cookies, and chocolate chip cookies. So when my husband sees that, he's going to be hoping I make some. I told him when I spent all afternoon on this artwork for this, and I told him that I'd been making cookies all afternoon, paper cookies all afternoon, and I was sure that he'd rather have me in the kitchen making real cookies. Anyway, this page, I teased this quite a while ago, and life intervened, and I didn't get back to it, but this page is, it was 3 prompts, 27, 28, and 29. It's earth tones, antique, and musical. And what I use for antique is this lace, and these two, particularly this little top safety pin, looks very old. 2 little safety pins. And this paper is also old. I'm not sure it's antique, but it's old. And then put doily behind there. This is something that I saw in a video about somebody had gotten an autograph book, is what it was, from the 20s. And it had various things in it. Some of them were drawn and some of them were written. But this was something that somebody had drawn in that book. And it's kind of a, what would you call that? It's kind of a cryptogram in a way. Or maybe cryptogram. I'm not sure that's the right word. But anyway, it's a message, but it's not straightforward written out. But what it is this is B flat, never B flat, B sharp, sometimes B sharp, and B natural, always B natural. And I just thought that was cute and cool and tied in with the music and the page. And then I have these little dangles down here. With this one has the numbers for the prompts, and this one just says always. So tying back to that. Then on this page, I just have clipped this in here. I'm still thinking about if I want to put this on here or not. This is my page for unexpected, and I still haven't put unexpected on here. I think I'm going to write it right there, maybe sideways going up. When I did this, I thought, unexpected guest. They've arrived on your doorstep. She's got her suitcase. They're going to stay a while. Oh dear, is this good or bad? And then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, it could be either way. It could be somebody you really love and want to see, and they've come to stay a while, and how wonderful. Unexpected gift. What a wonderful thing. Or it's somebody that tends to come and stay too long, and you just kind of cringe when they come, and you think, oh, that child, he's a little bit wild, and he's going to swing from the chandeliers. Unexpected. Not so good. But then this card says home, the place where warmth and kindness are shared, and friends are always welcome. And if you go with that, then they're always welcome. And they're unexpected, but you're glad to see them. I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing. When I started it, like I said, it was not a good thing. Unexpected guest. But now I kind of have a different view of it. And then back here, this is the other page, the artwork I did the same time I did this one over here, this one. And I used this one because it was thinner and I liked it with this colors better. But I decided to put this one back here because it was just still flying around on my desk, and it kind of is an unexpected close to the book. That, oh, here's this art at the end, and it doesn't say anything. There's no quote on it. It's just there. And I like it. And that's reason enough, right? So anyway, that is my book. And the other thing I learned from participating in this is that even though it took me 2 months to finish this, it's good to finish, even if it takes a long time. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing the book again. And I'm just going to flip through here in case there was pages that you wanted to see again. This was one of my favorite pages, was with this hidden code written in 2 different ways for be sure to drink your Ovaltine, which is a reference to A Christmas Story. And I have the clue, the code, the codes, the top secret codes are here to break the code on it. So that was one of my favorite pages of the book. Favorite to do, and favorite the way it turned out as well. And this one was kind of copped out on that one. I just kind of wrote about a throwback experience. I still want to write about, this was hobbies, and I'm going to write about hobbies. It sounds more like something a child would have, or something that's not too important. Oh, your hobby. How cute. How fun. But things that you do, that you love doing, are more important than just something that sounds, disposable, I guess is the word I want. I don't know. And I enjoy doing this page too with my teacups. And the house, the barcode house. And my little tea quote there in the book, the page. And I wrote about this under here, just the texture and the experimental part of it. And this in my curtains. And we looked at these already. So there we are. All finished with the book, mostly. I have an extra page back here. And I'm thinking about I wrote my list out because I don't have a printer. And look at this. It's got water spilled on it, and I made some notes and worked out my curtain idea there. But I'm still thinking about folding it up and making a pocket in the back to put it back there. So, we'll see. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.